A very good afternoon, class. So today we are going to start with 11th standard syllabus of our subject, Secretarial Practice. But before we move on to the topic, I want you all to observe certain images. So have a look at the following images which I am currently sharing on the screen. I hope you all must have observed these images. And I also know that the first image was a little bit difficult to guess. Still, I'll ask you all, any guesses or anything you understood by observing the images? So here comes the first image. This image shows that in the Roman times, there was a word which was called as scribe. Scribe is nothing but a professional letter writer or the one who maintains confidential records. So this is a picture showing scribe. What about the second one? This picture represents the picture of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj times. Any idea what does this image represent or depict? This depicts the person called as Amatya, Sachiv or Chitnis. You must have studied about them in history subject. Basically, this is a person who does the secretarial work. So class, before we move on to the topic, I want to share a small story with you all regarding Sir Isaac Pitman. In 1870, Sir Isaac Pitman founded a school where students could qualify as professional writers. In 1888, with the invention of the typewriters, the role of secretary increased. So as you can see in the picture, he is regarded as the father of distance learning. In 1840, he began teaching and offered correspondence courses in England for people to learn shorthand writing. So class, I hope up till now you must have got an introduction about what all things we are going to study. But today class is just an introduction session for y'all, and I'm going to introduce what is actually secretarial practice subject, because this subject is totally new for y'all, and up till now you have not studied anything regarding this subject in detail in any of your classes. The Indian economy is fast developing and has fastest growing service sector in the world. Various forms of organizations have emerged in the present economic situation. Finance is needed to establish a business, to run it, modernize it, expand it, and diversify it. The role of financial management has become important to the corporate world. So class, basically if you see today, each and every aspect of the business has totally changed. What comes to your mind when I say the words experts, individuals, special capabilities, and knowledge? Correct. The names of the courses like MBA or CS, Company Secretary, CA, MCA, all these subjects represent one term, correct? That is specialization. All these people helps to grow the business, and now they have become important for our present Indian business scenario. That is why class, you must have heard that after 12th, instead of opting for BCom nowadays, they are telling you to opt for specialized courses like BMS, BAF, BMM. These are all courses which train you and help you to become specialized in one of the specific areas of the corporate world. The profession of secretary is one such profession which caters to the changing demands of businessmen and organizations. Our subject, that is secretarial practice, in short, nicknamed called as SP, will help you to learn about the origin, importance, features, types, appointments, qualities, qualifications, functions, duties of different types of secretaries. GSC? Okay, joint stock companies. You must have heard the names of Reliance, Tata, Aditya Birla. These are all big companies. So class, basically आज तक आप खाली उन companies के बारे में सुनते आ रहे थे. But आज, after today, you will be learning how a company is formed. How does the company issues shares? ये share word आपका दोस्त बनने वाला है आगे चल के, अब तक जिससे आप familiar नहीं हैं, but आगे चल के definitely आपको उससे दोस्ती करनी पड़ेगी. You must have heard of ICSI, that is the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. So our subject is going to deal with all these topics. So class, in this particular topic, not only we'll be covering about who's a secretary and what are the functions and types and qualities, everything in detail. Apart from that, we'll also be learning meetings के बारे में. Meetings exactly होती क्या है. We'll be learning about company, as I told you. Company का agenda, meeting का agenda क्या होता है. We'll be learning how a secretary write letters, that is about business correspondence. We'll also be learning about BOD. Any idea? Board of Directors, correct. Then, who are the directors? What is a prospectus? What is AGM, Annual General Meeting? Also, I'll be teaching you about MOA, Memorandum of Association, AOA, Articles of Association. I know this is too much to grasp, but yes, don't worry, we'll be covering all these topics one by one. And the main and the very important topic is SEBI. You must be familiar about this particular banda because he is the one who is in charge of the stock markets across India. Whatever functions related to stock markets or shares happens in India is done under the supervision, under the control, under the monitoring of SEBI. तो बच्चों इससे बचना मुश्किल ही नहीं नामुमकिन है. So this was a small introduction about your subject, what you will be covering or what all things we'll be covering during this entire year now. So class, we were on the topic. I was telling you about secretary, you know the terms you remember, observe the images and all. So class, the hint which I gave you all was, we are starting with the first chapter of our secretarial practice and the name of the chapter is Secretary. As the name itself is introduced in the topic of the subject, Secretarial. So basically class, we'll be starting with the introduction part of our first chapter, Secretary, which we have already started along. So class, until the late 19th century, the persons involved in the daily correspondence and activities related to finance has assumed the title secretary. As I showed you this image before in the starting, in the Roman times, scribe was a professional letter writer or the one who maintains confidential records. In our ancient Indian history, secretary was also referred to as amatya, sachiva or chitnis. That is a person who does the secretarial work. So class, basically if we see the chart of origin of the secretary, it is long time ago it has started. For example, in Latin, the word for secretary is secretarius, which means a confidential writer or officer with whom the secrets are entrusted by the employer. In the Roman Empire, as I told you, it is called as scribe, a professional letter writer or the one who maintains confidential records. Indian history calls secretary as amatya, sachiva or chitnis, a person who does secretarial work. So this is how the origin of secretary took place from ancient periods. Now let us see the meaning and definition of secretary as given in your textbook. Now, there are various definitions of secretary which are given. According to Oxford Dictionary, a secretary is defined as a person whose work is to write for others, especially the one who is employed to conduct correspondence, keep records, and to transact various other businesses for another person or for a society, corporation, or public body. So basically, Oxford Dictionary के हिसाब से secretary is none other than who is able to write letters, anything in a written format communicated with one another is called as a business correspondence. Who helps to keep records, जैसे हमने देखा secrets रखने के लिए अगर कोई बंदा चाहिए, record maintain करने के लिए चाहिए, that person is called as a secretary. And this can be done not only for businesses, but as a society, for a corporation or a public body. When I say public body means central or state governments. So today, even state and central governments have secretaries for various departments which are functioning under the control of the ministries in the Sachivalayas. According to Companies Act 2013, now class, pay careful attention whenever we'll be talking about the subject SP. तो उसके लिए there is a rule which every company has to follow, or everybody getting covered under this topic has to follow, and that topic is Companies Act 2013. This is the act which rules all the laws, rules, regulations related to corporate world. तो जो कॉर्पोरेट दुनिया है उसको कंट्रोल करने वाला, वो दुनिया को चलाने वाले जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस है वो सारे के सारे किताब में दी. उस किताब का नाम है कंपनीज एक्ट 2013. दिस इज बीन अमेंडेड, इसको रीस्ट्रक्चर किया गया था because before 2013 we were following Companies Act of 1956. Now recently this has been amended, changed, that is why the year has changed from 1956 to 2013. Now being doing CS courses, CA courses, आपने पढ़ा होगा sections याद होने चाहिए, correct? So I'll just like to tell you all, if you all are comfortable, then only please mention the section. Otherwise, please do not write wrong sections, because एक भी गलत section and entire thing will be missed out. Straight away you'll get a 0. So if and until you are sure, please write the section. That is the requirement. If you can write, it's very good. But if you can't, then please don't give wrong sections. So according to section 2 subsection 24 of Companies Act 2013, a company secretary or secretary means a company secretary is defined in clause C of subsection 1 of section 2 of Company Secretaries Act 1980 is who is appointed by a company to perform the function of a company secretary under this act. The Company Secretaries Act 1980 defines the company secretary as a person who is a member of ICSI. Remember, एक पिक दिखाया था मैंने तुम्हें ICSI का. So basically, Company Secretary Act 1980 tells any person who is a member of ICSI can become a company secretary. So class, out of these two definitions, you can pick any one which you are comfortable with. I guess the Oxford Dictionary definition is easier. And after that, you can write this last paragraph. According to Company Secretaries Act 1980, the company secretary is a person who is a member of Institute of Company Secretaries of India. So I hope with this, the meaning and definition of secretary is clear to you all. So basically, class, to sum up in short, secretary is appointed to ensure the smooth functioning of the organization and assist in various functions related to correspondence, जैसे मैंने बोला letter writing, meetings, जैसे हमने देखा SP के अंदर क्या क्या topics आते हैं, record keeping, and do all the administrative work. Now class, when I speak of secretary, please don't assume that secretaries can only be females. The perception is wrong. In today's world, there is no gender discrimination. A secretary can be a male as well as a female. Please don't go by the pics and say secretary means only female oriented head. Nahi. Secretary can be anybody, either male or female. Now, before we move forward, there are some fun facts related to secretary. In the efforts to promote professionalism, the National Secretaries Association was created in 1942 in the USA. A special Secretaries Day was created, which would be in the last week of April. This week is now known as Administrative Professionals Week. So class, I hope you all are clear with how come the origin of secretary took place. What is the meaning and definition of secretary? Topic for tomorrow class, we'll be covering what are the different types of features of secretary. So for today class, I stop here as this was an introductory lecture. I hope you all are clear with the subject. Now what all things you're going to be studying in this particular topic. And I hope you all are not, you all don't get bored while listening to this particular subject. Before I wind off class, a small request. As I'm sending you YouTube links, I'll be uploading the video on YouTube. If you like the videos class, please subscribe to my channel in order to get more updates regarding the further topics. And if you feel that the topic is really beneficial and easy for you all to understand, please share it across with all your other friends. So thank you so much class for listening to me. I stop here for today. Stay tuned and keep watching, and please do subscribe my channel. Thank you so much class for listening to me.